Who said you can't go home? Real Estate Exposed, brought to you by Signature Real Estate. Real Estate Exposed is all about helping homeowners and those who would like to be homeowners and those who would like to get into real estate.
Well, hello. Good morning, everybody. I'm Vandana Bala, one of the hosts here at Real Estate Exposed, corporate broker at Signature Real Estate Group, and also the shot caller. And to my right, left, whatever, in the middle, there's Brandon Roberts, who is the corporate broker and co-owner of Signature Real Estate Group. And then to his other side, which is not right next to me, but on the other side of him, is Shelly Panzarella, branch manager of Prosperity Lending. What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
I have a question. What is a shot caller?
I don't know, but you know, so it just rhymes with my last name. He's aging himself. I know you are aging yourself. Shot caller is. But Julie Youngblood gave me that name. I don't know what it is. Just means I make all the shots.
There you go.
Literally, and she calls all the shots.
I call all the shots. Get it? I'm the shot caller.
Not caller.
So there's that. If you're not caller, if you are watching us live, then you are doing so on facebook.com/RealEstateX, not REX, Real Estate X. And you can find us on anywhere podcasts are available, as well as on, Brandon, this is your line.
YouTube.
Fantastic. And don't forget to, Shelly,
like
this is your
subscribe.
Line.
You can't see my
There you go. Look at that.
I got to get on the screen.
So see how I did that, you guys? That's going to be our script moving forward, okay?
Got it.
All right.
You're the shot caller, Paul. Whatever you want to do, we do.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, so let's get into it. So today I'm going to totally throw things off. Forget about stats. We're going to do stats later. We're going to get Shelly to go first and do rates. Are you ready?
Oh my God. Sure.
Brandon, yes. What do you do? I was thinking about this the other day. I know you bring in comedic relief every so often, but what is your segment?
I don't have a segment. This is why this show is perfect for me.
This is Brandon's whole show. We're here as accessories.
I just come in and wing it.
So Brandon, you'll go first then. Are you ready?
I introduce Shelly and the rates.
And the rates. All right. So
Shelly, go.
Shot caller and corporate broker. So rates are actually same. That's all I got. I'm just kidding. Rates are
wonderful.
2.7 range. 2.75 actually. FHA, I locked a borrower in yesterday at 2.5, which is extremely low. So there is some conversation that rates may actually still stay this low going into next year. What do you think that's going to do for the home buying and all that? If we keep
2.5 has been lower than it's been the last couple of months.
For FHA financing, there's been a big shift in the rate for them. 2.75 for conventional has been about the same.
Oh, that's crazy. So if you're going to buy something, do it FHA?
Well, here in Vegas, our price range is 355. So I'm pretty sure, I feel like the highest, I'm pretty sure we have a lot more conventional financing right now just because of our sales price, right? Median price is what? Or median price is 333, 377.
Oh, see, this is why it's important to do the updates first.
Exactly. Brandon is the stat guy. He'll be the keeping us legit.
So should I do them now then?
Well, so really ask that question. Hold on. So if rates remain this low through next year, because everybody's got this pent up sense of urgency that we thought maybe after the election rates were going to shoot up, maybe after the virus, everything's going to shoot up. But if rates happen to stay in the threes, low or high twos, low threes, what do you think will happen with the housing?
Oh, that was a legitimate question.
With that legit. Yeah.
Brandon, this is your segment. Go
for both of you.
I think it's gonna remain strong. I just don't see an influx of inventory, and that's going to be the big thing at this point that's keeping the prices high. If we see an influx of inventory and rates go up, then for sure we'll see a slowdown. But if rates are staying low and the inventory is low, I don't see any changes.
Then it's a happy market. Okay. Cool.
Ditto.
Back to you, stats, Shot Kala.
All right, so let's do stats. No, seriously though, I think that's true. You know, it was weird though. I will throw in a wrench because you know I like to talk about property management every so often. But there was a post in our page in regards to how locksmiths are now getting about 2,000 lockouts, orders for about 2,000 lockouts in the last couple of days. That's coming straight from the constable's office. And so, what do you guys think about that? I can tell you what I think.
So that's on renters?
Yeah.
That's just on
because that's going to affect our inventory too, right? But it could affect our inventory for sale because I think there's a couple of landlords that have been scared to be landlords based off of what's happened the last 9 months.
Yeah, you got a point there. I mean, if they're able to get the tenants out, that makes the property maybe sellable now because they can actually get somebody in there that can purchase it and live in it. So, yeah, you might be right. We might see some inventory climb for that.
And then with rates being so low,
that's right.
With rates being so low, not having enough inventory, I'm finding people are saying, "Oh, let's test the market and see what happens," and they're actually getting buyers to purchase their home, sometimes even for more than what it's listed for.
Yeah,
so
we are seeing that in a lot of contracts are coming in with pre-quals. Multiple offers. Tell me what this looks like if a borrower is paying over appraised value, all that good stuff. It's crazy.
And I don't know if I talked about it here or if I talked about it just in general. I had a client who's looking at a $1.3 million house. We went to Toll Brothers. They're 14 to 16 months out from being able to actually build a new home, which means that, again, shortage of inventory on that side. Why are you laughing? Did I already talk about this?
No, the struggle is real. You got you got this huge buyer and you can't get them a house. The struggle is real.
No, I did. I ended up, and they were cash, right? They're cash buyers that need a house right now. But yeah, I did end up finding them something up in Reverence that was for sale that these people got relocated. And by the way, working with relocation companies, holy moly. The bureaucracy. That's a loaded word. Say it without. Say it 3 times fast. Rural. Yeah. But I did end up finding something, and there's like a 15-day close. Now it's 11 days, but still, it was hard to find them something that was brand new because Toll Brothers doesn't have any standing inventory. They're, like I said, 16 months behind. And, borrowers generally, or not borrowers, buyers usually like to look at Toll Brothers first, and especially in that price point if they can.
So did you look in Mesa Ridge?
Yeah.
And they're that far out in those too?
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, I actually just put a buyer in contract at Mesa Ridge about 3 months ago. And when I was there 3 months ago, they had standing inventory in that $1.2, $1.3 million range.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Mesa Ridge is completely out. Yeah. They've got a couple of different, several different floor plans. They've got 4 communities out there right now. And all of them have no standing inventory. Scary.
Wow.
Yeah. So struggle is real in all price points. There is low inventory. I think that's the main gist. So let's talk about stats. What do you guys think?
Stats.
Yeah. Great.
Do it.
Okay. So in the last 7 days, we've had. Wait, I haven't. Calm down.
Sorry. Well, you got me all excited. I got to talk first today.
You're right. I'm not going to talk about stats because I thought it'd be really cool to see, by the way, there is, and Brandon, you and I just talked about this, so you know the right answer, but there is a Golden Knights player that just got a $6 million mansion in Summerlin. Do you know who it is?
Yes, our new defenseman.
You cheater.
Who's that?
Yes, it's our new defenseman, Alex Pietrangelo. Is that how you say your last name? Pietrangelo?
I don't know. But he's supposed to be pretty
amazing. Him and his wife, Jane. Yeah, I mean, we paid a lot of money for him, right?
He's supposed to be what?
Pretty amazing. And we sacrificed Nate Schmidt for him.
Mm-hmm. So he just bought an 8,300 square foot home in Summerlin with his wife, Jane.
Oh, Tom Blanchard is saying we can't absorb the rental.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. We're way past that conversation. We've moved on.
There's a little bit of
delay.
Hey, but he is a valued source. He is the president of Las Vegas Realtors currently. So
yes, that is true. I would
trust his information, right? That would be. He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm just winging it and guessing. He might have some stats
for another month. 1.5 more months, he's kind of a big deal, and then he's like a has-been. Just kidding.
I thought that it's like
we love you.
President-elect, Brandon stepping into president, and then Janet's past president. That's like it's a big deal heading in and out, right?
I have a whole nother year before I'm a big deal. I'm just
you're already a big deal,
Brandon Roberts. Can we talk about the board meeting yesterday?
Let's talk about Zoom calls. Let's just talk about Zoom calls.
Why?
How about the fact that I'm trying to stick my head into this picture so you don't see my light in the back.
Stay in the box. Stay in the box, Shelly. Stay in the box. We see the light.
Oh, they're really hard.
Okay, I said I was going to mention this, and I'm going to mention this, but I watched the board meeting yesterday, and it's always fun to get into watching the board meeting because, you get like a little peek into the behind the curtains of what it is that our association does. Brandon, don't shake your head because I'm allowed to speak about this. I think it's okay.
I'm just trying to straighten my head in the picture. I'm not really shaking my head.
You guys are crazy.
I just didn't want to be looking away from you.
There was somebody on the board meeting that was smoking cigars the entire time. Is that okay?
I'm pretty sure that's the new Robert's Rules of Order. I mean, that was written like decades ago, so they've upgraded it to be more Zoom friendly.
Maybe. I just thought it was kind of, I have not been, I sit on a couple of boards. Okay. So I am on several boards and I've been to meetings, Zoom or not, or in real life. And I've never seen anybody smoking cigars in the middle of a meeting. I am speaking my truth, Tom. This is crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
I think in the old days,
professional association.
I think in the old days when they'd have board meetings, they'd have board meetings. They'd have around the table. You could smoke inside a building. I think there was cigarettes all the time. So I just think it's funny, and not just this board meeting. It's just all Zoom calls in general. I think people forget they're on camera on a lot of things. So.
All right. Well, I guess that's what I'll say about that. Okay. So let's go. Let's talk about.
Thanks for toning it down.
Yeah, yes. Sure. Whatever. I don't know who all is watching. So I guess I will. It's not me spreading rumors. It's legitimately like something that happened. I'm going to move on though.
Thank you.
So I don't know why you're uncomfortable. It wasn't you that was smoking.
I thought we were moving on.
Okay. So then how to make Brandon flush. All right. So sold properties in the last 7 days, 997 sold properties in the last 7 days, which is pretty on point. I think it's gone up a little bit from last week because I think last week we were at 800 and something, whatever. Highest price listing or sale? Anyone?
3.2.
Nope.
4.6.
Nope. So
higher?
Close, but not at all. Yeah, higher. And it only took 10 days, you guys, on the market to sell this home. 10 days. It's an inside job.
Totally inside.
I know. Total inside. 7.4 million.
7. Oh, was it Pietrangelo that you just talked about? Pay attention, Shelly. Pay
it
attention.
Was it? I don't think so. Hold on, let me look at
his
this.
was like 8.
No, his was $6 million. It was 7.
That's his
contract.
He
did. That was his 7.4 million. Yeah,
he is a big deal.
Isn't that crazy? I don't know. If
he is kind of a big deal. I heard.
I'm looking through the pictures right now. I don't think that was his house. It wasn't his house, but he is a big deal. Does it come with cars? I think this house comes with cars. Holy crap! This is gorgeous. Okay, sorry. I'll get back to the
show.
Rates. What are we talking about? Yeah, well, let's get back to the show. Okay, so 7.4 million was the purchase price of that home. 10 days it took to sell it, and it's gorgeous. So that's probably why it only took that long. Now, of the sold properties in the last, the next highest priced home was 2.795, 2,795,000.
Weak.
I know. Listen, I'm happy here with my $1.3 million sale, right? So the current average sales price for homes in the last 7 days, $382,134, and the median price is $324,000.
So the median's gone down a little.
Yeah. Average went up though, right?
Yeah, but that's now. So remember, we're doing week to week, right? Most of the numbers that we look at are usually monthly. So we'll have to look for like monthly stuff, which I don't really do. I can though, if you guys really want me to, just not today.
What about year over year? I heard that we were 12% over last year, and then we're headed for another. Is that right in Vegas, or is that now nationwide?
I don't know. We have the president of the association on. Maybe he can shine some light on that. Anyone?
Could we do some cool magic and bring the president of the association into the call?
I bet it could actually do it.
Could he?
What?
Yeah,
freaking technology.
You'd have to reframe our screen a little bit, but he could do it.
Nice.
Maybe next time.
No, we're good. Maybe next time. So Lake Las Vegas home sales are on pace for the best year since the Great Recession. Lake Las Vegas is making a comeback. Have you guys been up there?
Yes.
Yes.
Lately,
it is amazing.
Lately, right?
Well, not in the last 10 days.
Yeah, because you're quarantined. How are you feeling, by the way? Squirrel.
But no. Remember when we went through the downturn? Lake Las Vegas was a ghost town. It looked like that whole project was just going to die. And now you go out there, it's just amazing. It's beautiful. So
it is. I went. What is that thing called when you? Is it paddleboarding?
Paddleboard.
Yeah, where you can stand up or be on your knees or sit down, and then you have a paddle and you paddleboard. Yep, I did that. So they have that in Lake Las Vegas. That was kind of fun. It was actually different because one of my friends was like, "I want to take you paddleboarding for your birthday," and I thought that's weird, but okay. So we all went, and I had a blast. It was awesome. And now they've got all these like really cool restaurants over there. Have you seen that like pink coffee shop? Have you been there, Shelly? Have you taken Sydney?
I have.
Oh my God.
Not to the pink coffee shop yet, but I have been down there.
It's super cute. Brandon, you should totally go.
I will next week.
Go.
Next week.
I like coffee.
You should totally do that. It's a really cute little place. Very girly though. Flowers and roses and lots of pink and.
Oh, you're talking about the coffee shop. I thought you meant Lake Las Vegas.
No, coffee shop. But okay, yes. So let's go back to Lake Las Vegas. They've got, the water sports. Those are super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, a little weird during COVID.
The blow up inflatable like obstacle course. That was fun.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
So, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Dad. Don't mind me. By the way, I'm coming to you live from Los Angeles, you guys. I went to my family and my dad was making fun of me.
Is it on fire over there? Or are the fires gone?
No, I think that's in northern Nevada, not California.
Yeah. All Reno's on fire, just outside of Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually on a Zoom meeting this last week and people were being evacuated. They were dropping like flies out of the meeting because their houses were catching fire.
No way. In Truckee?
Yeah.
That's still Truckee, that's California still. Those damn Californians.
Yeah, I don't think it was in Truckee, but I'm not real familiar with the area up there, but I know it must be a nice area because all these people probably have nice homes. But yeah, I guess they said on there that the fire was started by a police chase from somebody going through the brush or something like that. And then the car caught brush on fire. Yeah. That was what I heard.
And then it just, well, I wasn't paying attention to all of that, but yeah, I heard there was a lot of fires up there and people were evacuated and whatnot.
I think you're going to do the show from LA from here on out because they bring you coffee.
I was just going to say that. I see that. She just got her coffee order.
Got coffee. I got some creamer.
Seriously.
I'm a happy person. Yeah. We're all trying to so I've got the kids on their Zoom meetings for school right next to me. And so they're trying not to pay attention to me. And then I've got, my parents coming in and out. Bye, Dad. They're coming in and out of the area. And then my brother and his kids. And so it's been an interesting morning.
Well, just don't get arrested.
I know. I'm trying not to. Trust me. Nobody wants to spend time in jail here in California for sure.
So let's talk about something serious.
No, but I wasn't done with Las Vegas, but will you hold that for a second?
Oh, that's pretty serious.
I know. So, because Lake Las Vegas just to give you guys an idea, it had 191 sales through the end of September, which is kind of a big deal because they've never had that before. They had 132 from January to September, and then just all of a sudden 192 or 191, bam. It's kind of a big deal. So Lake Las Vegas is coming back. It is a great place to live. So start looking out there. That's it. Now talk about something serious. Go.
No, you bring something serious up.
There too.
Huh? Okay, but one more. They are building out there, thankfully. Yeah. Well, we're running out of space here, right?
In LA? Yes.
No, in Vegas. In Vegas. Pretend I'm still in Vegas. I know I'm not.
Let's talk about the DOJ.
Short-term rentals. Oh.
Let's talk about the Department of Justice and the NAR settlement.
Okay, we can talk about that. We won't talk about short-term rentals then. So
no, we can get to that too, but we can just go this way first.
So did you read it?
Yeah.
Yes, I listened to it.
Okay. You listened to it. What did you get out of it?
Me?
Yeah.
So I ended
from the outside.
Disclose your commissions, which I didn't realize you don't normally disclose to your buyers what the actual commissions are. So I feel like that's the reason it's being brought out is because some agents may or may not have been going to lower commissioned homes or lower co-op homes for their buyers, and so therefore weren't showing them that as an opportunity to buy because maybe they're getting 2% as opposed to 3%. Is that one reason this is kind of out there right now?
So there's a lot of concerns. One of them is the concern that agents don't show lower priced commissions, and so one of the settlements was that they would not make it so you could make any searchable by commission.
But so we don't do that anyway here in our board, right? I mean, we haven't been able to do that in months, I want to say.
Yeah, but keep in mind that this is across the country. All of NAR's participants and or members, and the MLS is associated with them. The other thing was that there was a lot of agents that will advertise that their services are free to the buyer, and that is not necessarily true because there's a commission that's built in there, and it is you're really loud, V.
I'm sorry. Hey guys, shh.
There's a commission built in there in the purchase price, basically, and it's all in the financing and stuff like that, so it's there. So it doesn't really give the buyer an opportunity to negotiate commissions with the buyer's agent in any way, because it's truly not free. So agents cannot advertise to buyers anymore that their services are free to them.
Here's the thing.
Right.
Can I say something about that though? Because when I work with a buyer, I have a buyer broker agreement. My buyer broker agreement says I make this amount of money. So regardless of what the commission is, what the co-op is on that particular transaction, it's up to the buyer if they want to go look at that property, because they're going to pay me whatever the difference is.
Right. But see, when you when you get a buyer broker agreement signed, right? They're hiring you to have it's an agency relationship. And at that point, you've negotiated out your commission. You've given that buyer an opportunity to negotiate that commission, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not working with the buyer agency agreement, because not in all states is that required, and in Nevada, it's not required to have a buyer broker agreement, you're not necessarily giving that buyer the opportunity, right? And so if you negotiated X bananas with your buyer and the listing was at Y bananas, then your buyer would know that they're going to have to pay that difference, right? And so it puts them on an equal negotiating platform. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just different than what we've done.
Right.
Typically, we don't advertise. We advertise the buyer's co-op for the buyer broker in the multiple listing service that isn't seen by the consumer, but it is still seen by the other agents because that's our agreement to pay. And so this is just saying, hey, we're going to open that up and allow the buyer to see that. The other big thing that it did is it said that I think it basically stating that we can't lock a real estate agent out from using our lock boxes, which
I saw that too. What does that even mean?
So
it says that the seller has to give prior permission to allow it.
Sure. But we're not like our board. We have a lockbox system, and you have to be a member of the board to be part of that lockbox system. Well, a member of that board makes you a realtor. Well, you don't have to actually be a realtor to sell real estate. You can be what's called a real estate agent, a licensed professional in your state.
Just a licensee.
In some states, they compete just as much as realtors. The reason we subscribe to be a realtor is the code of ethics, which holds us to a higher standard, which gives some other recourse for that consumer to file ethics complaints and stuff like that. So we subscribe to a higher code, so to speak. So that's one of the benefits of using a realtor. Well, by not allowing them to use our lockboxes and stuff, it makes it harder for a real estate agent or a licensee to sell real estate, right? And so this will kind of even that out a little bit, if that makes sense.
And really, from a standpoint, then they have all access to really any home that is on the market, where right now they
if the seller wants to, right? And I look at this as not a bad thing. By the way, we found your section, Brandon. So I look at this as not a bad thing, right? Because if there are other agents that want to show us a listing, it's good for the seller. That's my job, right? As a listing agent, I want to expose the home to as many buyers as possible. And if that means that another agent that isn't part of or the realtor family has that buyer, hey, more power to them. Let's do it. That agent is not contacting my client at all, right? They're not allowed to negotiate because that's NRS rules here in Nevada. They're not allowed to negotiate directly with the seller. They can't talk to the seller without me anyway. So the one thing that's protecting our co-op agreement essentially is being a part of the realtor membership, right? Is having that realtor membership because we've got MLS rules and whatnot. I don't think this is bad, you guys. I think that this is a good thing that's happened. I don't think the sky is falling. I don't think people should get up in arms about it. I think that this is a good thing. It helps provide exposure to sellers for their homes. It allows us as the listing agent to actually have buyers that we may not have been able to, engage in for that client. And now we just got to figure out what that co-op is going to look like. I think that's the struggle for the licensee because they don't belong to our association.
Well, and see, therein lies another issue, and I don't know if this will change where the non-members can join the MLS. But if you're the big thing about the multiple listing service is that it is a co-op agreement. When we sign up as a brokerage, we agree to pay a compensation to a buyer's agent or buyer's broker, and the buyer broker agrees to accept that compensation. Right. And so in going that, it's a agreement between it. So we don't have to have a separate agreement every time we show a property. Well, a licensee, if they're not a member of the MLS, actually have to negotiate their commission outside of that with the listing brokerage. Does that make sense? Because there isn't no agreement. Now, with that being said, if we're advertising that and saying what we're going to do across everywhere, I don't know if that's going to change and we'll have to pay them that or what, or if that's still open up for negotiation or what. So that'll still be stuff that'll need to be figured out on my end for our brokerage. But and in Nevada, I don't know if we run into the licensees showing property as much as some states, but
you will have people like from California that ask like, hey, can I show your listing? And I'm like, well, you have to be a member of our MLS in order to show it. Now I just have to ask the seller, hey, is that okay?
No, that's still not true. They're not licensed to sell real estate in the state of Nevada.
True.
You see what I mean? They would have to have a license here in Nevada to sell real estate here in Nevada. Now, it would have been no different, though, if somebody called you up and said, hey, can I just take a look at this home, and you can't make it out there, and you call the seller and ask them if they'll let them in. They can let whoever they want into their house, but that agent from California couldn't necessarily write up a contract unless it was for themselves to sell property here in Nevada, unless they were licensed here. Right?
So why is everybody?
She's got someone walking behind her, so she lost concentration for a minute.
Why is it such a big deal? Why are people? Because I've heard a lot of was it fear for this? Is it not necessarily Nevada or? No.
So the big thing with this is there was a lawsuit filed, right? The Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against NAR. This is the settlement. Now, NAR isn't saying that they agree with everything or they're admitting fault in anything or anything, but they've agreed to this settlement. And
in fact, I think NAR's statement was, we do not agree with this. Like we're not admitting to this. We are right.
We're not admitting to doing anything wrong or anything like that, or deception or anything like that. But we are agreeing to change our rules and stuff to play by so that it matches that, to alleviate any of the concerns that the Department of Justice had against NAR and antitrust and all that stuff. So it's a big deal that they settled it rather than it going to court and everything else. So it is a big deal. All right. Anything else on that?
Maybe a good thing.
Well, we'll see. I mean, all we have to do is
they've got 45 days to figure this shit out.
Yeah, we'll adapt.
45 days.
Yep, that's how long NAR is asking for 45 days, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, I think it'll get buyers agents to hone in on their skills a little bit better as far as getting those buyer broker agreements signed, because then this won't be a topic of discussion every time you go to a listing. In fact, they'll know up front that they're going to have to pay the money. It'll probably be easier as a buyer's agent to say, yep, that one's cool. It's, this much in commissions and you agree to pay me this much. I won't have to do that. I won't have to have that awkward conversation. It's already been exposed.
Yeah. And you'll see some changes. You'll see some changes for, in our listing agreements to do some of this. And you may even see some changes in our RPA, that make it so that to comply with all this stuff too. So just stay tuned.
So you'll see a lot of changes. I'm wondering how, because right now we have Central Lock. I wonder how Central Lock is going to accommodate for this change coming up too, right? Because are we going to have to do one-day codes? Are we going to have to put mechanical lock boxes? We'll have to see how that comes about.
And I don't know for a fact, but I just think that they will have to still purchase an e-key to be able to
in
access
order to get it. Yeah. So a non-realtor, to answer your question, Jennifer, a non-realtor, so just a licensee here in the state of Nevada, does not have to abide by the code of ethics because they're not part of our membership, right? They're not part of that association. However, most of the code of ethics are driven from ideas that come through NRS 645 and NAC 645, which all licensees are required to abide by. So most of the code of ethics you will see, and if you've taken my class, you will know the one the class that I teach, What Would You Do? Questions of Ethical Integrity. We go over the code of ethics, but we also review that code of ethics and how it relates to NRS and how it relates to NAC 645. And you'll see there's actually duplication across all three of them for most of the things that we're required to do as part of our code of ethics. So
yeah, the big difference is though, if the code is stricter than the law, then we have to abide by the code. If the law is stricter than the code, we still have to abide by the law. Right?
Correct.
So we're just held to a higher standard. There is still recourse for the public through NRS and through the Division of Real Estate, but they couldn't file an ethics complaint with our board of realtors, our local board.
Yeah. Well, and so arbitration is like the primary key, right? That's the broker to broker commission disputes. That's the important part of the association membership. Mediation can now be done through the Regional Justice Center as well as through the association. But really the arbitration key, I think, is the one that really our association is helping us as realtors stay compliant with.
So, and that's a great point too, because currently if there's a dispute between two brokerages over commission, we're required by our membership to arbitrate that, not sue each other. Mm-hmm. Well, a licensee would not be under that same deal, so they would not be required to necessarily arbitrate.
And they wouldn't have access to our forms, right? They wouldn't have access to the same forms that we have as an association, which means they're going to have to get it from somewhere else. So
right,
we may as a company, we may have to decide how we're going to handle that when we have other purchase agreements come across. Because most of us in our listing, it actually states, to have a GLVAR RPA presented.
Right, but they wouldn't be using the MLS there necessarily. But the interesting thing here is, yes, in Nevada, our local board does our purchase agreement, right? And they're cooperated by the board. In Salt Lake, in Utah, the whole state of Utah, actually, the purchase agreement, which is actually called the REPSI, Real Estate Purchase Contract, is actually done by the state of Utah, not the Utah Association and not the local board. So it is actually required by all parties to use that agreement in the buy and sell of property unless designated by one of the parties in the transaction. And that's how builders get around it, because they're designating that they want to use their builder contract, but all realtors and licensees are required to actually use the state approved form. So in there, they won't have the same issue that we do in Nevada.
So
isn't
you're
that
saying
the same for California?
No, the California Association puts the forms together, but you're saying that like the Nevada Real Estate Division would be similar to the Nevada Real Estate Division putting the forms together? That's what the state? So it's the Real Estate Commission that puts them out.
There's actually a committee put together by the state. I think I'm not 100% sure on this anymore, but I believe it's appointed by the governor. And yes,
are you giving us fake news, Brandon Roberts?
No, commission oversees it. But the important thing to know is that document it's similar to our duties owed here. It's put out by the division rather than a local or a state board
association. Got it.
So everybody does things a little bit different.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that all comes together. But there are other lawsuits that are currently against NAR right now, and I think those might be a bigger deal than this DOJ case that just came about. So be on the lookout for those. Pay attention to what's happening in your industry. I think that's the most important part, right?
Yep. So
yeah, be in the know, knowledge, and clearly we know what the hell we're talking about. So come on over here and listen to us.
We'll make it up as we go.
Why are you laughing? No, we don't.
Talking about our show, or are you talking about your company?
No.
Yes. She's talking about our show.
Talking about our show.
Got it.
So that was a lot. That was very in-depth discussion about what's happening in the real estate industry across the country. So I think of relevance, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about it. Everybody's got opinions. Some people are a little bit more eccentric than others. I think that it'll be interesting to see how this all comes about, and I can't wait to see your videos on this, Tom. And by I can't wait to see, I don't really mean that to be real.
Mr. Blanchard's always looking for video ideas.
I know, right? Well, now he's got one. Let us know if you want us to interview. We have a very small fee that we charge as stars of Real Estate Exposed, but we'll be welcome to do a guest appearance for you if you want, Tom. Right, guys?
So what were you gonna talk about renters? You had something you were gonna
short-term rental. So Henderson has new rules for short-term rentals, you guys. And so here's the thing, right? Short-term rentals, I think, are kind of a big deal in our city. And then there was, so we had the county of Clark County, city of Las Vegas, city of Henderson, city of North Las Vegas. Each one of them started adopting their own rules, and they're not the same across each municipality, which is frustrating as hell, right? Ultimately, I think most of them were originally concerned about that party house ordinance. Everybody remember that? The party house ordinance, where people were just throwing parties in their mansions, and it was causing sheer havoc across, sheer havoc across neighbors who were, walking down the street with their kids or their dogs or whatever and seeing naked people outside of their windows. And there was noise until 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning because people were partying so hard. Like, why are you smirking? What's going on?
Me? I'm remembering the days I could have maybe done that, but there's no way I can do that today. 5 in the morning, right. I'm waking up from the night before.
Exactly. So, and they were, there was homes that had drug-related activities happening, blah, blah, blah. So what the city did or county did was they said, hey, we're gonna limit those. And so part of that was not to allow these nightly rentals, right? And I don't know if it resolved that. So party houses, the party house ordinance and the short-term rentals are not the same thing, even though they get lumped in together. And I know I'm talking about both of them like they are, but they're not the same. That's kind of how it started, though, was because of the party houses. That ordinance then turned into, well, we don't really want a lot of short-term rentals in our communities. We want people to have at least 30, 31 days in the property in order to be considered a rental property, right? And then each municipality said, well, you can only have short-term rentals within this little section, 1,000 feet or 600 feet or whatever. And so each municipality does it a little bit differently. And it's frustrating, especially when you have a buyer who's like, hey, I really want to buy a home and I'm going to Airbnb it, for instance. Well, that's hard because each property that you look at, if they're across a different municipality, there's different rules for that. And Henderson has recently started really intensifying their criteria for what that's going to be, meaning they're being a little bit more strict on their regulations. They already were. You had to get permits. You had to apply for it. And funny story, you had to apply for it online, but they didn't even have a place to do it, right? They weren't really they weren't really getting it together for people to apply. It was like the biggest headache. This is your town, Shelley, over in Hendertucky, over by there. Anyway, so I've talked enough. I'm going to stop.
I don't do any of those mansion parties here. Haven't seen any of them in Hendertucky.
I don't have a mansion, so I can't throw one of those, but I would love to rent one for a day. No, so
to throw a party just so you can stay awake till 6 a.m.
I know Henderson did say that they were going to allow Airbnbs or short-term rentals, and then the big thing was that it still has to be. A lot of the HOAs, the homeowners associations, don't allow it either. So it was still very limited on where you could do them. And then it's interesting to hear that there was still rules and stuff, and apparently they weren't ready to set people up anyway. But I think it's going to change from time to time. But do you think that a lot of the reason we can't do them, I know you use kind of the party house and the noise and stuff like that, but do you think the casinos have anything to do with that?
Probably, yeah, because technically they're the ones that are also renting their rooms out, and we keep building more casinos, right? Which means more rooms. Right. And if we've got homes that are doing the same thing that casinos are, and now you can actually buy your own food and cook it in the house, and you don't have to worry about going to the overpriced restaurants in some of the casinos. Yeah, I can imagine that they've got a hand in this. Yeah,
so because it dip into their revenues too. So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what happens, because I think there'll be eventually we'll be able to do them here. I just don't think. I think the demand's just going to be too high.
Yep. So Tom Blanchard, there's another video for you. You're welcome. Yeah, and that's it. So that's all the topics I have. What do you guys have to talk about?
There's got to be something major going on in the lending industry, Shelley.
Lending industry.
Besides rates are low.
You guys getting sued? Anything? You know?
Wait, did you guys? Shit, I had a question and I forgot.
You know, the one thing that with the Obama administration, sorry, Biden, not Obama.
Go ahead,
did I just say Biden?
I know, we all wish.
I think that's going to be a shift for us, and not. I said shift, not shit. Maybe both, but it.
And now you said the both. Congratulations.
Yeah. There, just because of some of the regulations and everything for CFPB, not to say that it's not good that we have the guidance over it, but I think we were very, it was not loose, but it was definitely complete opposite of what it was for the Obama administration. And so I think it'll be unique to see what's going to happen for us in the lending industry as they put in a new administrator, as they put in, so it'll be very interesting for us. The other thing that they've been talking about is that $15,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. You guys remember that when Obama did that, the $8,000 tax credit? Crazy
awesome.
Ass housing. Yeah. So they're just trying to figure, because I guess here in Vegas, we've been pretty fortunate that the housing market has been really good, but not across the whole country. There's actually some, because of the, not price range, but income, and those who may have been laid off, they were not benefiting from the housing industry. And so this is one of the reasons they're trying to throw this out there, is this, right now they're saying it's 15,000. I think that's what Biden was actually proposing in his, for his election, was that he was going to throw out the tax credit at 15,000. So that's something that we're also looking at. But the biggest thing is really seeing what this is going to look like for us with CFPB.
That's interesting, because you remember when CFPB got launched and how it threw everyone up in arms, and it changed the disclosure rules and everything else. The regulations were really tough, and we all adapted to it. But we did get some relief under the Trump administration with a lot of those regulations being loosened. And so if they get tightened up, that could have some effect on the lending as well. So interesting.
For sure.
Are you seeing, are you seeing a lot of appraisals still? Sorry. I think I have a delay on my side. So every time you start talking, it.
Okay.
We see appraisals. Are you seeing a lot of appraisals still? I mean, do you see a lot of appraisals like still rising? Because there was a time where it was taking you guys an extra week to get an appraisal done.
Oh, timelines. We're still hanging in there with the 5 to 7 business days. Who we are having a hard time getting appraisers to commit to. We actually lend in Alaska and Florida, and both states were having challenges in having them actually commit to a turn time for us. And so Alaska, which I get, they have some crazy areas that may not, I think they have to fly into certain, what do they call them? They have to fly into areas of Alaska, right, with their little propeller planes. So I have one right now that's taken us 3 weeks to try to even get an appraiser to accept it. Florida is about 2 weeks out for us. California, I think, is about 10 days. So, but for us here in Nevada, we're fine still at 5 to 7.
Nice.
Are you guys here?
I mean, everything seems to be fine with us. By the way, are we done talking about this?
Yeah,
I think so.
Clearly, we are.
Okay, so well, I was done. I just want to make sure that you guys were done before I moved on. But did you hear about New Mexico and real estate? Why are you
non-essential?
That's not funny. They're non-essential. Isn't that crazy? New Mexico real estate agents are now non-essential. Real estate services are non-essential. So the only time you can continue real estate services in New Mexico right now is if you have a property in contract. They have a lot of rules around that. Imagine if that was Nevada. That's scary.
Yeah. So it's all because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
The COVID shutdown. So when we first went to our initial, I won't call them lockdowns, but when we initially started that too, one of the big things is real estate was deemed essential here in Nevada, which allowed us to continue to sell real estate, which has been awesome because it drives the economy, and it's helped a lot of people buy and sell real estate through this period of time and helped a lot of us brokerages survive. So when I heard about that in New Mexico, I felt really bad for the people I know down there that are in the real estate industry, because it just got really tough to keep your businesses going. So hopefully that we don't have to deal with that here.
Are there other states other than New Mexico that are still considered non-essential?
Not that I've heard of. I think they're the only ones, right?
That went backwards.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's all those open houses that everybody's doing.
Or not.
Who's doing them?
Or not doing, right? Exactly. Yeah, so on a much better note, are we doing a podcast next week? Because it is the Friday right after Thanksgiving, which is also, oh my God, Black Friday. I wonder how Black Friday is going to look this year, by the way. I want to end on something really good.
We're going to eat Shelly's turkey next week on Live on the Air, remember?
Oh, yeah, you still don't have taste, but I do. So you might have lost your sense of taste and smell, but I have not. And I'm sorry, I have my kids that day, so I can't come.
Yeah, right. I'm washing my hair.
I'm good to do a show.
Are you seriously going to cook that turkey, Shelly?
I'm not sure. We actually will just keep it in the freezer for another 20 years whenever we sell this house.
Lovely.
You're
Lovely.
like, yeah.
All right. So it looks like we'll be back next week.
Yes.
Fantastic. I swear to God, I think I have a delay.
You have
if we need material, I'll cook. If we need material.
Have you heard of that place in Vegas called Serial Killer?
No. What?
Oh my God. It's all about cereals. All you do. No, but it's not cereal like SERIAL. It's cereal like CEREAL killer.
Where? So you go and you
pick
your favorite type
cereal.
Of cereal like you would at a grocery store lane or aisle 7?
Yeah. But they're all ready to go. You don't have to get a whole box. You can just try every cereal that you want. I don't know if that like negates the buffet rules that we're not allowed to do, but I think it's a cool place. Like that's a fun place. Let's go eat cereal.
I guess if you like cereal.
Yeah, Lucky Charms are my favorite. What's your favorite cereal?
Cinnamon Life cinnamon. Do you guys know? Oh, sorry. This is all about me for this moment, but I'm about to finish 75 Hard. I am speaking of cereal, because that'll be one of the things that I'm going to eat is cereal.
From your 75 Hard after you're done?
Yes. Got to think of one special meal for myself because I've had to have a cheat meal. Maybe I'll go down to the Serial Killer. What is it? Restaurant? Is it a restaurant?
Yeah, that's it. It's just called Serial Killer. I don't know. But when you're there, can you take a video, please, so we can share it? That'd be so cool.
Yes, man.
All right. Awesome.
All right, wrap it up.
All right, we're wrapping this party up. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget, you can find us live on Facebook.com/RealEstateX. I keep wanting to say REX, but it's not it. And anywhere you can find podcasts and on YouTube. Don't forget to
have a happy Thanksgiving.
Like and subscribe. And have a happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Bye.